A few days ago, I was banned from the Dead by Daylight forums. Welcome back, Wolfpack. We have a kind of serious discussion I have related to Dead by Daylight. The reason for my ban is nothing short of censorship, of just obvious censorship, and that it all stems from an entirely made-up reason by a moderator. One second. We all know VPN usage in Dead by Daylight is becoming more and more common, and to be clear, I don't have anything against the use of VPNs. However, it is well known that in-game, VPNs have been causing a variety of problems for other players in a match. On the more innocent side, these problems result in disruptive lag spikes and latency-related issues, such as teleporting killer hits or survivors who are suddenly able to vault windows or drop pallets that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to reach. They just suddenly gonna burst that much further. And on the more sinister side of things, VPNs can be used as lag switches, and they have been. I've seen it myself in game. Or they can be used to hide your IP address to avoid detection when you're using hacks or other cheats. As for the reason I was banned, I discovered that by simply panning the camera from left to right, I could reliably locate any player who was using a VPN because of the lag spikes that were caused by their VPN. Hold on, let me back that up. The lag spikes that are caused by these players and their VPN only occur when you face them or when they move in and out of your vision. So this is what I mean. Like, you just pan left to right and you'll see it, little tick tick tick. It'll just skip, and you can zero right in on the survivor. It's not hard. Anyone can do it. So as a killer, I've been using this as a phenomenally accurate tracking tool, and it is 100% accurate. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get a survivor. They can still evade you if they detect you coming. But if you got any stealth on you, you're guaranteed to find your survivor, or where they are, at least. However, as a survivor, it's a bit more difficult to gain a clear benefit from, because although you'll locate the killer, you'll also locate other survivors who are also using VPNs. So, all you know is someone is there. But one of the bigger issues is that these lag spikes, can cause you to fail your struggle when you're on a second hook. This has happened to me numerous times. You're just sitting there on the hook, you're hitting a struggle, you got good rhythm, survivor suddenly comes up into your vision, and then the game locks up, and you are dead. Because it doesn't register any of your actions. This is clearly a problem. Not only for the people using the VPN, but for the people who are not using a VPN. Oh, I'm sorry. Not only for the people who are not using a VPN, but for the people who are using them. Like I said, just because I can track you doesn't mean I'm gonna actually get the player. It's basically just like a set of dowsing rods that have been given to me that I can locate them, and I'll be guaranteed to find you. But because of the lag spikes, the game locking up, there's plenty of times where there are hits I should have easily been able to manage, and I just miss because game locks up, and now suddenly the survivor's behind me, or the survivor just teleports away, or because of the game just locking up, I just lose the survivor altogether. You game locks up for 2 or 3 seconds. That's enough time for them to really get out of your range. So it doesn't guarantee hits or kills; it just guarantees tracking. But anyways, I posted this discovery on the forums, hoping that because I framed it as an issue that would impact survivors specifically, very clearly impact survivors. And it causes the problems, such as a dying. Rip those changes that they made to that perk. Bye balance. But anyways, I framed it as in such a way that because it was an issue that clearly impacted survivors in a negative way, the devs might actually start taking the issue of VPN use and abuse more seriously. They might even begin looking into what they could do to improve connections with their servers, improve the quality of their servers so that maybe the VPNs don't have such an impact, or use software to block it. But that's not what happened. This is when a moderator took down the post because it, and I quote, sounded exploitish. However, this moderator also refused to explain in any way what my discovery, what it was about my discovery that was an exploit, or even what part of the game was being exploited. Obviously, this is because they couldn't, because it's not an exploit. It was clear that I was being censored. So I did post this again, this time explaining what happened with the other moderator. And, this time explaining what happened with the moderator, and also asking how someone using a third-party program in the game to gain an undue advantage was not cheating or an exploit, but also how explaining that same exploit that they're using can be used against that person was an exploit. It's a blatant hypocrisy. One action's okay because survivors can benefit from it. One action's not acceptable to talk about because it hurts survivors, and it's very clear that this is what's going on the servers. Which is awful, because I have seen survivors complain about killers use it, but those posts still are up. You can look up anything on VPN usage on the forums, and it'll always come up. Killer VPN, VPN killers. You're never going to see anything about survivors with VPNs. Those all get taken down. But yes, and much like that, my post was also taken down again. And apparently the mods frown upon exposing other mods for censoring major game-breaking issues that need to be brought to the developer's attention. And of course, with taking my post down again, they refused to answer the simple question of what about my post was discussing an exploit. They refused. They just simply refused. And that's where I get banned. This is a clear act of censorship, and the moderators are given too much freedom to wildly interpret the rules to fit whatever they need in order to bury an issue they don't want the devs to know about, assuming the devs don't already know about these issues. And I'm also sensing a bit of bias, possibly even a conflict of interest. It makes me wonder if the moderators are involved are content creators who are sponsored by VPN services. Now, I don't know, although I don't know for a fact whether or not the well is truly poisoned, the fact that possibility exists. I mean, there's a lot of DBD content creators who are sponsored specifically by NordVPN. Nothing against them. Once again, I'm not opposed to the usage of VPNs. In fact, I'm a big privacy advocate. However, it's very clear that the servers are not built to handle or accommodate the usage of VPNs, and it's causing problems within the game itself. So, it's one of those things. Like, this information could help the developers find a solution to a problem, so that either, VPNs might be usable without causing a basically reliable tracking via lag, or being used as an exploit within the servers themselves. Or they could find a way to just basically block out people using VPNs until they disable them so that they can hop on the servers. Either way, I mean, there's possible solutions to the issue, and this is a very serious issue because people using VPNs are, it just results in sometimes unplayable lag for especially a killer. Survivors are just teleporting around the map, but I can still find you. I can find you. I'm not going to hit you because you're teleporting, but I can still find you. Oh, and it's just that level of unplayable lag. It's not fair. It's not good for the community. And when half the community, or when a large portion of the community is sitting there complaining because they're getting lagged out of matches, either killers or survivors, they're either being, located seemingly mysteriously by killers, which I think I'm starting to understand why some survivors think that there's a lot of killers who are using tracking hacks. There might not be. Maybe they're just locating you based on your lag. Either way, this is a problem. it does need to be addressed, and the devs should be made aware that the VPN usage is very easy to track in game. As a person who doesn't use a VPN, all I have to do is look left and right. That's it. Look left, look right. It skips here, skips there. All right, you're here. And off I go. Every time. Every time. And before anyone sits there and says, well, maybe it's just your computer. Let me pull up my specs for you right now before we close this out. We're going to do this so you guys can see for yourselves. I'm running an Intel Core i9 9900K with 3.6 gigahertz in processing speed. I have 48 gigabytes of RAM, and I'm using a NVIDIA, the RTX 2700. I have a damn good computer. This game runs like silk when there aren't people using VPNs in my lobby. And I can tell. It runs like silk on ultra graphics while I'm recording, or while I'm streaming, or while I'm doing both. But whenever there's a person with a VPN in my game, even if it's just one, I can always pick them out. But yeah, of course, as I presented this from a killer perspective, being able to find survivors doing that, it's a killer problem, and that's why I've been banned. It's just that simple. There's an issue. It affects survivors, but because I can definitively demonstrate or show how this affects survivors, that's why I'm getting banned. Not because it's speculative talk or question talk, but because I can actually narrow it down. And that's what it comes down to. Dead by Daylight forums are trying to bury this issue, but is what it is. So that's going to do it for me. I know I'm kind of rambling on a little longer than necessary, but I want to thank everyone for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you don't like cheaters in your game. And be sure to give this video a dislike if you do like people who cheat in your game, whether they know it or not. Anyways, and for those of you who are using a VPN, honestly, give this video a like if you didn't realize that you're causing issues that could lead to your yourself, your character, your player being tracked in-game easily. Because this information is not only valuable to killers, it's also valuable to you survivors. So thanks once again, everyone, and I'm going to see all of you guys in the next video. Bye.